There you go, record.
There we go.
Okay.
I have agreed. I have consented. Okay.
If I full screen this, can you still see?
Yep. Yeah. I've got everything. Yep.
So I'm just gonna go to the exhibit 1. There you go.
Okay, I'll say a little welcome to people who saw our first video analyzing or breaking down the Leo longevity court documents. We're now going to do kind of a deep dive into the actual text messages and other messages that were sent, and just break them down and kind of analyze what's going on there. So there's quite a lot to get through, so we'll dive in. Do you have anything to add in the first moment, or should we dive straight in?
No, nothing to add, but the texts start off in the middle of another conversation, I think, and this is the first page they have submitted as the exhibit. And I think he's referring to Doritos here, because I don't eat Doritos. I don't know what that's about, but if you can start reading it from there.
Sure. Well, we've established he doesn't he loves milk. He doesn't like Doritos. This is just the way he goes. Okay. I'll kind of we'll read through a little page, then we'll kind of talk about it. I think that's probably the best way to go. So now I'm hungry again and can't fucking eat, although I ordered my own cereal, everything except milk, because you said it's always there and you just keep hiding, or I'm blind. Ducking hell. If you could just have taken the milk out and replaced your stupid cream and oats with the milk the first time I complained and ordered milk at 4 a.m. The response: you could have told me when you finished it. I can't guess. Leo, then this would never ever happen. How would I know it's finished? Fucking idiot. Think I can't see. I told you 50 fucking times. It's not a goddamn joke. You were supposed to reorganize the fridge. I'm gonna read on a little bit.
I don't understand. I don't understand what he means by he cannot know when it's finished. Is he not the one using the actual milk? I don't understand. What the fuck is the point of her having to order milk and keep it organized?
I think.
Does he not handle the milk at all?
I'm not to defend him. I think what he's saying, but this really isn't a defense. I think this is actually what's going on in his mind, is that he just fully expects the woman in this case to like be inspecting the fridge, to be getting into the fridge and doing it. And he's like, if it's not like immediately within, he's cracking the door open and grabbing something out. If it's not there, it doesn't exist to him. I think that's genuinely like his frame of mind.
And he's not gonna look for it. That's why he's saying like you shouldn't be hiding it, because he's not gonna fucking put his hand behind whatever else and the cream of oats or whatever and look for the actual fucking milk. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, it's hiding or he's blind. The no other explanation is. So yeah. What I like, she's very like calm in these take, which is probably going to make sense when you're dealing with someone like this, right? You're going to try and keep
one person
out of it. Yeah,
one person normally just adapts to the whole situation, and if he's like this normally, then I'm sure she's been through it several times, but she's just very used to it by now.
Yeah, I mean, the normal reaction to this is in fact not calmness, right? If I was texting any of my friends, if I was texting you this, you'd be like immediately either blocking her, going, "What is going on with you, bro?" The fact that she is responding so normally really says a lot about how commonplace this kind of interaction is. I think. I'd agree.
Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't know how to respond. I would just be like, "Fuck are you on, bro?" Like I would think you're high on something, but hey.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. And he probably, I mean, we know with his supplement stacks that he's been on a fair bit, so
yeah.
Yeah, so maybe who knows what he's taking at any given moment, right? I'll just read that the part because they're kind of part of a series. So after he says, you were supposed to reorganize the fridge, instead you kept your stupid cream and oat bullshit in the front. And again, 2 days ago, I didn't know there was milk and I found it at the back. So how the fuck do I know? If you're going to hide shit and not respond to my complaints because of your bullshit lack of caring, then at least order the fucking food so I can cook, since you can't. To which she just responds, lack of care and question mark. I told you I have a 2 liter in the fridge. If you finish 2 liter, that means there is no more. We have steak and salad and potatoes cooked and prepped in the fridge. Yeah. So just to quickly, would you mind hopping back up on that? Just because there's the 2 little things I want to note. The first is the amount of like, this is like going to seem really nitpicky, but just because I think it's insight into what he's like, the number of like misspellings. So like, he's writing this stuff out and he takes like, you know, he's going for emphasis, right? Everything is cat in caps. He's like the bullshit, you know, which is funny for us, but it's like he is screaming, you know. And how do I? He can't. He's not spelling things. This is pure rage typing. This is actually like angrily writing these messages out. So
it's kind of funny though. It's kind of funny that you can get this bothered about something so trivial, and I don't understand. Like, it's like he's expecting her to go above and beyond. If you have this much of an importance placed in milk, why don't you just take 5 minutes out of your day to ensure that you have like fucking milk supply all the time? And I don't know, freeze fucking milk or something. I don't know. Buy
it's not hard, man. You know,
it actually isn't. You can buy UHT milk that lasts like a month. Just fill a cupboard out with UHT milk if you're that bothered.
Well, maybe look, he doesn't. not even that, right? Like semi-skimmed milk, you know, I guess for the Americans watching, like 2% or whatever it's called. You know, low fat milk. You know, I get through a lot of milk. You know, I put it in my protein shakes. So I've got, you know, and so does everyone in my house, honestly. But we're putting it in the, you know, there's a good amount of milk. I never feel the need to scream at someone because, well, first, because I'm not a psychopath. But secondly, it's really cheap. You just go to the shop and get some more, right? Like, there's nothing difficult about this. But yeah, he's going on. You've got to wonder, like, it's obviously not.
Yeah, he's acting like he has to go and milk a cow to get that milk. You can go pay $1 and get how much milk you want for $1. Like, I don't know why you're this bothered about it. Another thing, I didn't know that they don't call their milk semi-skimmed, skimmed, and full fat. Do they actually mention it by percentage in the US?
They've just got a whole different. Someone can correct me in comments when this is on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so I remember my ex was talking about. So she's an American, and she would say, I think it was like 2% is what she would say for like the milk that I would have, which is like in the UK, you know, green top or like semi-skimmed, whatever you want to call it. Then they've got, you know, they'll talk about cream, half and half, these other things that go in the coffee. I think full fat is still full fat, but yeah, no, they've just got a whole different terminology.
They're making us feel bad by mentioning fat, because for us it's just whole milk, you know, it's wholesome.
Yeah, that whole milk, that nice whole milk, and it's like, nah, it's this. but yeah. So, but the one other thing I was going to say is, you know, it's this hiding shit, you know, that he's characterizing. You know, it's her, like, it's not even that she's not organized it right in his head. It's that anything that inconveniences him is her fault. It's her maliciousness coming out, which you know, if we're kind of, you know, doing a bit of thinking about the psychology here, you know, this is classic abusive behavior, right? Like, it's everything she should have anticipated. Any failure to consider him in any, you know, in any scenario is like a big, massive character flaw of hers that needs to be remedied. Yeah, and of course it's never his fault, right? Like, it's never got anything to do with him. Yeah, no, it's both funny and really depressing at the same. It's depressing because you think, God, this poor woman to put up with this. But yeah, should we dive on? there's a lot more people are going to go. We'll end up going to you know, 3 hours. Okay, so.
Okay,
do you have
let's go to it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, no, I was just gonna say 2 liters of milk. I wonder how long it took him to finish that.
He loves his milk. He loves his milk, bro.
He does. Does he use milk for cooking? Because what does he mean? Like, he also mentioned having to cook because she cannot. Does he need milk to cook? I mean, I suppose maybe there are things that you would need milk for to cook in the oven or something, but I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say anything about it.
Because sometimes, you know, you can sometimes whack milk into like certain like curries and things, right? I don't know if that. I mean, but I'm doubtful that's what he is.
Is he someone who eats curries? Because he seems to have an issue about like Armenians, and
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
do we think it carries over to all ethnicities? Maybe.
I'm assuming so. Like if you have an issue with Armenians, then I'm sure it carries on to other races as well, and as an extension, like their food too.
If I'm, you
So
know, if I'm memeing, I like to assume that he's just like he's really accepting of everyone but Armenians, you know, and he's and he's really chilled about all food except for milk. That just pushes him over the edge, you know. There's nothing else in the house, he doesn't care, but the milk's gone. You fucking.
that's true. Just let's just not make judgments based on what we cannot see. It just happened to be that milk and Armenians are the two things that he is not a perfect man on, and
that's it. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So you know, she asked yesterday if he was hungry. That's the kind of thing. But then he goes on. So he says in response to her, you know, talking about the 2 liters, I did not receive this information. First of all, it's a bit like he's not calming down, but you know, the caps lock is off.
Yeah.
You know, maybe this is partly her knowing how to deal with him somewhat. You know, she's probably got to some degree, she's probably had to develop an ability to manage him a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't last, but like she's managed to, like, there's a little bit of calmness here. So second, explain why I came to you, explained that I had to order food because there was no milk. We're back to this. This is confusing. You had to order food because there was no milk.
Yeah, that maybe he, instead of food, he just drinks milk. Maybe that's what it is. Like in order to get like his protein needs on, I don't know, he maybe like just has milk with cereal in it or something. I don't know.
But for a guy who's big on his you know, his like healthy, you know, his healthy intake, his supplementation, you would think that he'd just be more on top of his own nutrition, just in general. I mean, we haven't mentioned this yet, but like you would just expect him to be more on top of it, right? Like you know, or yeah, and maybe to hire someone even like as I say, I like my milk, but like I've got other things. I've got other sources of protein, got other sources. It's very odd, very odd. You know, and then you said no, but maybe later, to which I replied, text me if you need, I'll cook the sandwiches for you. That's her response. I'll just read this whole section because there's a lot here. And you made a big deal about it being stuffed in the back of the fridge and only 1 carton of milk in the front. Okay then, Lucy. So explain to me, why the fuck are there still 2 cartons of heavy cream? Sorry, by the way, this is what I was talking about. This is the cream stuff and all that. And 1 carton of oat shit in the front and 1 milk stuffed in the back behind everything. I had to go out 2 days ago after the first incident when I couldn't find the milk and ordered food because of your selfish organization. You needed still to have 2 creams at the front and your oats, but I couldn't have 2 milks since I can't find anything and since I have already wasted money because you organize so selfishly. Does this guy not have the money for milk? Like this is getting me.
I mean, to be honest, yeah, he's not half as big as, like, he's a really small YouTuber, so I don't expect him to have a lot of money, but he does do his training, which he charges a lot of money for.
Listen, bro, if he's struggling, if he's hard up for milk, I'll send it, you know, give me his PayPal. I'll send him a bit of
Nah, man, don't feel the addiction.
Yeah. It's worse than heroin for him. He just, if he doesn't get his milk fixed daily. But yeah, like I like the characterization. Is oat shit, you know. He just this oat shit, man. Why? How dare you put that in the front?
It could be, to be honest, maybe this milk thing is just him getting, and like him actually expressing his anger over other things as well. Like it's just that this pushed him over the edge, but maybe there are other things in their relationship that he was actually bothered about. Yeah,
for sure. Like this is No, go ahead.
Because but no normal level-headed person would make an issue for something so trivial, surely. And I don't know.
I completely agree. I completely agree with you. There's definitely other stuff going on in his head. It's not about the milk. But I do think, I suspect, like, here's what I will say. I suspect that whatever it is about, or whatever multiple things it's about, are going to be almost equally as trivial. Like, I don't think this guy has a handle on, you know, his own psychology or on his own emotions, clearly. But yeah, I don't think I have any. it's a bizarre series of messages. I don't think I've got anything more to say about it. If we want to skip on, we can go.
I think we should, just because there's a lot to cover.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. So okay, you know, she responds, now my organization is selfish, right? And then he goes, you know, this is where he goes really mad. You know, I don't eat cream. What the fuck is wrong with you? This is my house, you know. Cream and oats in the front, milk at the end in the back. What kind of fucking bitch? She responds, you know, you don't go to the fridge ever, you don't cook. Would keep that organization. He's misspelling again. You have your own fridge, she says. After I already complain, and she's just like, you know, don't call me that, please. Now, all of this, well, I've got some comments, but if you've got anything, I'd like to hear it as well. Like, what
No,
you...
I don't understand that. So he's got his own fridge. So why does I don't understand. Just go and buy milk yourself and stock your fridge with it, bro. It's not that hard. You are not a fucking baby. You can do this. Like, it's, if he can, is he that busy that he cannot like go out to the grocery store and buy some milk and fucking put it in the fridge? And I don't know, bro. It's just obviously it's not a healthy relationship to start with.
This is stuff, these little things. I mean, because they can be a source of frustration, but I'm sure people, you know, listeners and whatnot will have had these kind of, you know, if you live with people, it doesn't need to be a partner. I remember when I was at university, you know, my undergraduate degree, I was living with a group of, in fact, no, sorry, in my very first year, I was living with 5 people, a couple of whom were like really messy, right? And who would, you know, eat other people's food and all that stuff. So I just bought like a little mini fridge. Didn't have everything. I'd still stock the kind of the main fridge, and we'd cook together sometimes and stuff. But for little things that were like my cravings or whatever, you know, I just wanted to have, which in fact did include milk myself. God, I'm like a mini Leo in training, clearly. But but you know, just little things I had, you know, I could like dip into myself. None of this is hard, right? You know, this is all him expecting her. This is all him expecting her to like baby him and like do all of this stuff for him. And the idea, but I just love the entitlement as well, because right, so he expects all of this from her, but it's his house, right? You know, he says, this is my house. You know, it's there's an awful lot of entitlement mixed in there. I don't know whether he owned the house, whether she was paying into it at all. I think we may have covered that last time.
Listen, it shouldn't,
not that it matters,
really,
it doesn't matter, but yeah,
it shouldn't matter. I mean, the thing is, a lot of this could be a bit cultural, in that he is Arab. Obviously, he identifies a lot more with that side of the culture, so he might have been brought up that way to think this kind of shit is okay. But to be honest, like I want to say this just because like we've all been in like mixed race relationships. If you're gonna go into a culture that's not your own, and you're gonna date someone outside of your culture, it's not normal to just expect them to be exactly the way that maybe the women from your culture would be. And in my opinion, maybe he's expecting her to be like just subservient in a manner where she's completely just taking care of his needs, you know, looking after his kid, and she shouldn't have a life of her own. I mean, that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting anyways. And maybe he should have considered the fact that this is not the sort of relationship that he should be in the first place. I'm not going to comment on how abusive this kind of mentality is in the first place, but if that's what he's used to, then maybe he should have gone for someone closer to his culture and closer to what he identifies with, rather than someone who's like French, obviously.
I think there's probably something to that. I would add, or I would kind of also say, how do I put this? You know, he might well have some cultural baggage that he's bringing in, and some kind of, you know, role models that maybe aren't great in that regard. Or maybe, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna necessarily again take a judgment on the whole culture, but you know, he might specifically have some of those influences. I mean, and he definitely does, right? Whether this doesn't come out of nowhere, you know, either it's culture or it's like his, you know, how his parents interacted, and you know, he's modeled it really specifically on that. Or but I mean, it's also very possible, you know, you do see this, you know, just American relationships, right? You know, there are people just like this I mean, everywhere, you know. So I don't want to let him off like that. Like I think that's definitely a factor, but do you know what I mean? I don't want to let him like just have us say, well, it's a cultural thing, you know. There's
No,
definitely,
of course.
I think, but and partly that's what you're saying as well, right? His expectations are not tempered in the least by the fact this is someone from a different culture. This is someone clearly with, you know, he's not thinking about it. It's all about him. So yeah, there's oh yeah, we could again, we could go on hard about every point here, I think, because there's just so much content. But
there is,
where did we get to? We got past this complaint thing, you know. She said, don't call me that,
she
please,
said don't call me that,
in response to being called a bitch, and he doubles down, you know. Then put the fucking milk in my fridge, not at the back of your fucking fridge. You are being a fucking bitch, as usual, careless. I complained. She was okay. You kept it. In fact, you restocked the front with heavy cream. Insane. Now that I see your sister, no wonder you're so selfish. All you French fucks are insane. I don't know how you can tolerate each other. Well, that's actually kind of to what you were saying, right? Like, he's looking at this French culture, you know, these French people that he's seeing, and he's responding really aggressively. So whether or not it's his stuff comes out of kind of his specific cultural upbringing, it's really clear that he is not compatible with someone who is coming from the sort of culture she's coming from. He just doesn't like it, you know. I mean, there's obviously more to it. He is an abusive guy, but he's
I mean, he's obviously also like, he has a racism issue, and it's obvious.
Massively.
I don't know if I should even call it racism, because it's like French people are white, obviously, and it doesn't seem to bother him. But I don't understand it, to be honest. So anyone who's not Arab, he would have an issue with, I'm guessing.
I think there's a couple of things going. I mean, he's clearly just a very you know, bigoted person, and that's manifesting in a lot of ways, right? There is the Armenian thing. Clearly there's a French thing as well. I suspect I mean, xenophobia is perhaps the better word if we're just looking for terminology, but you know, there's an awful lot of sexism as well. Like, the guy, he's just going to lash out at anything that he doesn't like, you know, and he doesn't like a lot, you know. So yeah, generally there are kind of a lot of intersecting kinds of bigotry going on here. It's pretty nuts.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, and then, but we get onto this word, which actually is really interesting. So I'm only going to read these couple of messages. Then I'd like, if we can, just talk for a minute. So he says, you know, this whole all you French fucks, I don't know how you tolerate each other. Every one of you puts themselves before their loved ones, and like pot calling the kettle black a little bit there, but you know, and right. But then fucking degenerates without honor. And this is really interesting, right? Because we know the kind of online space that Leo has kind of, you know, arguably inhabited. We know the kind of place that degenerate kind of language is coming from.
Yeah.
And that is super interesting. I mean, I've got some stuff to say on that, but do you kind of have anything to start with?
Nothing to add at the moment that would add any value, to be honest. I'll let you speak on it.
Well, so I guess it's only the thing. I'm obviously thinking kind of incel stuff. I'm thinking of this kind of very traditionalist stuff, which again, it kind of meshes. Like, if you're coming from a certain, and again, I'm not saying that, you know, yes, his background is Arabic, but I think there are lots of like traditionalist cultures in the West and elsewhere that are going to give messages to like young men. Sorry, this is like me putting on my little feminist hat here. but no, like, you know, there, and we've seen it, you know, you see it with this kind of quote unquote black pill incel stuff. That's what people latch onto, because it's saying stuff that makes sense within the concepts they've already got. So he's that, you know, so yeah, this is how it emerges, right? People are degenerates, which is to say they're kind of, you know, they've fallen from this high moral standard, and the you know, obviously he holds, you know, because he's wonderful in every way, of course, and they lack honor, and that is going to be used as a justification, right? Because when someone's a degenerate without honor, you can treat them like this. You can treat them the way he treats her. So I think there's a lot of stuff going on. I suspect a lot of it, and we will probably get more cues about this as we go through the ways in which he thinks about women, about people from other races and cultures. I think that's all probably going to come out more so as we go through. So yeah, I'm happy to proceed. I just thought I'd kind of bookmark that. because
No,
that
yeah,
line is telling.
yeah.
Do you want to read a few lines, or shall I keep doing the reading?
No, you can continue. But before you continue, I was just
Sure.
wondering what kind of. I have a few questions. Was he actually raised in the US? I'm guessing he was, right? And if he
I think he
was,
was. I think he was, but we can double check that. Let's. I'm just gonna. I will have a little Google now and see whether that's easily found out.
mhm.
Um, I'm actually
Most
just
likely
hopping.
not, because he's like a niche micro celebrity. He's not really that popular.
Well, I've just so one thing I can see is that he went to LSE. That's
What, in
interesting to me.
London,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bro?
And he was a financial analyst for a major price. So I'm assuming that was also in London. So okay, so that's where he starts his education. That doesn't tell us where he's from. Yeah, we might not find out. I mean, he sounded American to me. I've assumed that he is kind of
He's got a
initially.
slight accent, but then again, it's really hard to judge accents.
Right, yeah, for sure. You're not gonna, yeah, because part of that can come I know some people who are incredible at that. I'm not one of them. I know some people who can place kind of someone, what country they're from, what country they've been in,
Mhm.
but neither of us are linguists. So
Oh yeah, definitely not.
but my guess would be that he's probably spent most of his time in kind of the US, Canada, the UK. Maybe he was born and spent early years elsewhere.
Yeah, maybe
Um,
Dubai or something, because a lot of people from Dubai seems to have accents similar to his, so that could be a thing.
Plausible, yeah, it's plausible. But we can. I might do a little deep dive later on and see if I can find anything else. But
Sure.
yeah. So amazing. That's going to be your excuse of the day to not make video. You want things from other that you don't do yourself, and it's okay to insult people. I put myself way last, but you can't even see that. If I was to be selfish, it will be way different. That's her saying that. He responds, for your information, I was hoping to go back to bed and film. I just noticed that I decided not to after reading your irresponsible piece of shit message above. So you actually actively caused me not to record, dumb bitch. Keep your mouth
Bro.
quiet next time. Yeah, this is it, right? He's gonna blame her just for literally anything, like
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Um, yeah. And then she responds. This is a long message with a couple of like quotes from him kind of within it. You know how you told me 2 days ago, quote, you don't need anyone, you have me, you can count on, end quote. If that was true and sincere when you woke up and saw you don't have milk, your first thought could have been, quote, oh, I didn't tell my wife that, I finished the milk. End quote. But instead you thought, and then another one, the fucking bitch didn't buy milk for me. She should have guessed my ever-changing needs, even when I told her 2 days ago that was my last bowl of cereal I would eat. And that's that quote.
So I was correct about the cereal thing.
Yeah. So he couldn't eat that because he didn't have.
Mhm.
I mean, I mean, it's so ridiculous, right? Go out and get milk, eat it dry, or just have literally any other food, right, in the house. No doubt you got something. It's nuts. Also, if I'm being really picky, and I wouldn't do this with other people, but again, he's a longevity guy. What are you doing having cereal, man? You could have a better breakfast than that. Come on.
He's probably eating those Magic Spoon protein cereal.
What, that have like 5 grams of protein instead of the 3 that normal cereal.
No. This was actually protein heavy. You know, the one that Derek advertises, the one that Derek got sponsored by. That is actually a bit more protein heavy.
Oh, it's actually a bit dense. I don't think I know the one you
Yeah,
mean, but I'll
it
take your
was
word for it.
like
Yeah.
it was like 200 calories, 20 grams of protein, so something nice.
Oh, I mean, if that's true, that's really good. Hold
Yeah,
on, we're
yeah.
giving them free sponsorship here. We need a start right now. But that's no, that's good if true. Yeah. I might have to look into that. So yeah, we're definitely no matter how big we get, we're not getting the sponsorship if Derek's got it. You can't critique Leo and get away with that. But
That's true.
yeah. But then and then Ever, if you got mad because I didn't get the milk, you could have made the decision to go get some instead of insulting me. You are able to get things when you need them, but I guess it's easier to blame someone else and insult them rather than take responsibility. And then she says hoping, and then she says she says I'm leaving to get milk actually. And is there anything else that you need? It's yeah. It's wild this. I don't have much to say on her comment. I think she knocks the nail on the head, right?
She knows, yeah. She's very calm, and she's actually very level-headed. And the fact that, to be honest, when this whole thing got leaked, she was more worried about the fact that her personal information got leaked, which I'm sorry about, but she shouldn't really stay quiet either about stuff like this. But maybe she was worried about her kids and her family.
Yeah, I think it's completely understandable why she would, and she's obviously back. I mean, we don't really know. It's a weird situation online with these guys, right? He's playing a lot of damage control, and he seems to be kind of trying to draft her into that. I suspect that and I think it's completely legit that she just wants to kind of get on with her life away from this dude at this point. But yeah,
it could be like what Blast Fanis said, where it would affect his income, which down the line would affect him being able to support the kid as well. So it might be that she is kind of worried about him not being able to support the kid. So she might be just like going along with it. Or maybe there's some other kind of coercion here. We don't know.
I think that's a really plausible scenario, though, for sure. Yeah, I mean, there could definitely be other stuff going on, but that would make a lot of sense to me. So his response, again, this is not remotely unexpected. I'm so sick and tired of your selfishness. I just tried to read this shit, and it's immediately about you again. You French people. I mean, yeah, bro, come on now. What are you saying? You French people deserve each other. All dishonorable, selfish, materialistic, society-driven degenerates. I mean, look, there's such a pot kettle thing here, because this guy is, he's an active YouTuber, and I don't begrudge anyone that, make your money, do your thing. But he is literally dependent on society. He's not society in general, but he's dependent on a viewership. He's doing it for money. I mean, everyone's doing it for money, right? It's not like, yeah, you do what you enjoy, but you're doing it to make some money as well. So he's really like targeting her for stuff. It's that classic thing, right? You critique in others what you kind of don't like in yourself. It's 100% on show here, I think. That would be fair to say. And then and then we have the degenerates again, of course, which, I mean, I've already kind of said my thinking on that. Yeah, this guy, like, he's got some very particular background, I think. I am ordering my own food and don't require any help from you whatsoever. This is my, every time he says that, it's just so funny to me. It's the way, like, he has like a sir, it's his house. And I don't rely on you as a family member. I would never be in these stupid situations, but you are in them, dude.
I don't know why he's relying on her as if it's just fucking milk, bro. Just go get your fucking milk so you can eat your dumbass cereal and stop being a child about it. It's not, even if she did everything wrong, what would she gain from actively hiding his milk? I don't understand. Like, what is his argument for her hiding his milk?
Well, yeah, and even beyond that, like, you're completely right. But even beyond that, right, like, even if she genuinely was just like being kind of, by kind of normal standards, like, not a great, partner, and she was actually going out of her way to, like, let's say she did. Let's say she hid his milk. Is this a rational response to that? Because again, this isn't like you're hiding someone's, someone's father's ashes. You're literally, it's just some milk. It costs a couple of quid, couple of dollars, whatever. Just get some more. Honestly,
why does he have a second fridge in his own house?
Well, that's interesting, but I could understand it. I
mean, it's his own house. Nobody else lives there, right? It's just him and his wife and his kid.
I mean, it is weird, but yeah, I don't know. I just think everything this guy does is weird. So maybe I'm like thrown off by the kind of, do you know what I mean? Like I'm looking at this and like only the really bizarre stuff is sticking out because there's so much weird stuff.
Yeah, some of them you just discount saying, oh, okay, yeah, it's, I don't know, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I get you. I get you.
Because the lower tier stuff is like, oh yeah, someone normal does that, and I'd look at them funny. But that's not even it's not even making the cut here, right?
I mean, we should use that word that he used, degeneracy. You're like discounting all of the level 1 degeneracy, and you're just looking at the level 5 degeneracies.
Yeah. He's such a degenerate that all the other stuff is barely.
It's not in the radar.
Yeah, completely. This is like in degenerate. I'm not even going to say. I don't want to get demonetized or whatever. We're probably not at that level yet, anyway. I was going to.
Oh yeah, it's not. Right? We don't monetize in the first place, so
yeah.
There is no, there is no demonetization to be had here. I was just going to also say.
So let's go. Let me talk about what I think Leo's into in porn. No, okay, but like so we
definitely not Armenian porn.
Definitely no. Maybe he's really into it. You know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. He loves his Armenians. Because that's real niche stuff, bro. That's real niche. And he's searching it out. You know, found that one Armenian OnlyFans, and he's just sinking his money into it. I can just see it now.
That's why he's this angry. He's just like, I've sunk so much money into the fucking economy at this point.
Yeah. Those Armenians are taking him for a ride, bro. Okay, so you know, we get I'll go on a little bit just to finish this page. You know, so yeah, you know, I've never in my life sort of relied on people. So when I read this message was the first time I regretted meeting you. Congratulations, you fucking bitch. Instead of apologizing, you took my respect and feelings for you even further down. And I see you like and I see you like you see your sister. FYI. Yeah, that took me a second. Okay. Stop fucking. So she what dislikes the sister? Well, that doesn't seem clear. Stop fucking messaging me. You're ruining my mood. Fuck off and spend the day with your sister. You deserve each other. Yeah. Okay. So clearly he does not like the sister either. I mean, I think we knew that from the other documents we've come across already. But like, there's another little thing. She says, I'm sorry about this morning. I was out of line. Oh, okay. So she's now apologizing, which is.
Well, it's just that she probably feels like she's in the wrong because he's obviously making her feel that way. Sometimes people can take advantage of like people like this. And obviously that's what's happening here. It's just, there is no third person in this conversation to kind of tell them like, this is not normal. What you're saying to this woman is not normal. The way you're thinking, it's not normal by normal standards, but you know.
Yeah, he really needed me and you to be saying, listen, bro, this is really degenerate of you, you know? Yeah, no, 100%.
This is very Armenian of you. Then he would stop.
I'd be like, no, never. So yeah, you know, you actually said, you know, she's gotten some milk. And then he says, and this is an interesting line, can you go down a page just so I can see what comes next? You were not. Oh yeah, here we go. You were not. Oh my god, he sent so much. You were not very out of line. I am just going to respect you, like you less and less every time I see your selfishness. That's very, you know. So it's like you weren't out of line, actually, but I don't respect you.
Yeah,
that's the claim. And we've understood. Go ahead.
Again, if you read the next sentence, I mean, I'm skipping ahead just a little bit, but I can't believe how much worse my life got after I left Aisha and the Ukrainian for you. What Ukrainian, bro? He's just covering a whole fucking area. Like he's going all around Europe and generalizing people, and it's just fucking weird.
These poor European women. Ukraine has suffered enough. It doesn't need bloody this guy as well. This is mad. Yeah. So we don't know who Ashia or Aisha is, do we? We haven't.
Probably an ex.
Well, yeah. We don't have any context about who they were, but sure. So he's had a few more relationship.
Apparently there were allegations and leaks about him abusing his exes as well. We can go through that at some stage, but I haven't gone through it at the moment.
That can be, depend. So let us know in the comments whether or not you gotta do that stuff. But let us know in the comments if you'd like us to do a deep dive into that stuff, because we will. It could be interesting. So even though I succeeded, I'll read a little bit more because I know you're reading ahead, so I'm going to try and catch up. Even though I succeeded on YouTube, I am so much less happy at home and in my life because of being around you. You clearly don't respect or like me that much because you put yourself before me constantly. From before the pregnancy, including the move, until now. You could have driven or taken the train to work from Riverside. Fatima would have done that. Aisha would have done that. It's been consistently like that. Yesterday I wrote some notes to myself about how I feel about the situation. There are at least 3 reasons I was majorly depressed last year, including reaching 33, losing all my family, and having a child. Oh boy. I'm going to read the last 2 lines in this because it's still mad, but I always thought I would be dead at 33. This is one reason I was listening to rap a lot. Yeah. Do you want to get, shall I take it first, or do you have some, because there's a lot here.
What is there to say for this fucking idiot?
There's so much. No, I mean, I know. I think everyone's thinking the same stuff, but I'll try and say a few things. So so he's majorly depressed because he's had a kid at 33. Grow up. I mean, that's the obvious thing to say, right? First off, he shouldn't be unhappy, and think how that's making. I'm trying to avoid saying names other than his because I think no one cares about him. But think about how that's making any partner feel, right? Having a child made me depressed. Talk about your age anxiety. Sure, I think it's a bit weird to be anxious about turning 33, but
not even just that, right? He talks constantly about being selfish and people being degenerates or whatever, and he says, including reaching 33, losing all my family, and having a child. Is your wife and kid not family enough for you? How did you lose all of your family if you have a wife and a kid, you degenerate? It doesn't make sense to me.
This is the thing, right? If you judge him by the standards that he would judge people by, I'm not judging people by those standards. I don't think you are, but if we judge him by his own standards, he really is the degenerate, right? That's the thing. He's this guy who's got potentially he could have just this very traditional nice life, and he's disgusted by it, and he can't deal with it. It's a really and that's okay, it's not for everyone. I do think once you've got a kid, you've got some obligations. It doesn't matter what politics you have, but putting that one aside, this guy's own standards he's not living up to. He wrote some notes about how he feels, which he's not going to share, but one can imagine it's just him crying about this even more. What I find interesting is, you clearly don't respect or like me that much because you put yourself before me constantly. Again, this just seems like a failure of understanding that different cultures are different on his part, which we've which we've kind of already covered, so I guess we don't need to say again, but it's notable that. And also these exes who are so much, if his exes are so much better, why isn't he with one of them, right?
Exactly. It's just I don't know, it's just making your current partner feel so shit. He's doing what he's basically gaslighting her is what's happening. He's telling her, you're like this, you're like that, you're selfish, you only think about yourself. But he constantly is just speaking about himself, making his current girl feel like shit, telling her that she's worthless, telling her that he doesn't respect her. What kind of a piece of shit does this kind of shit, man? It doesn't make sense to me.
100%, mate. It's yeah.
Why are you in a relationship with this person if you have this much negative feelings towards them?
And I suspect the answer to that, right, is he probably he isn't going to get anything better, and it probably somewhere deep down knows that. And B is people like this aren't thinking kind of rationally about it. He's not thinking, actually, I've got this, this nice woman who puts up with my bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not thinking that just there's any imperfection and he's gonna like light on it. And I mean, given that we know the absolutely mad stuff that he has done himself and has like fallen into himself, we'll have to get to that, because we're talking about this as being degenerate, but some of the actual stuff he's done, which is just truly nuts, we're going to have to talk about that as well at some point. So yeah, then he but this last line is just comical to me. This is the one that's really funny. The reason that he listened to rap a lot because he thought he'd be dead at 33. Is he like an edgy 14-year-old kid? Like, is he
That's
singing
what it sounds like. Yeah. How the fuck, who the fuck thinks like that after they've reached like mid-20s? Like, even when you're like 18, I'm sure this kind of thoughts would leave your brain, but I'm not sure. People mature at different ages, but surely by the time you're like fucking mid-20s, you would not be thinking about dumb shit like this.
I would hope that anyone, I agree. You can give people allowances for being a bit mopey, and again, listen, if someone's severely depressed, like obviously that's an issue. I'm not trying to minimize that, etc., etc. That's a different thing. But just this general attitude and not seeking help or anything, right? He's not seeking help. He's taking it out on his partner exclusively. But so then you have this image of him, or at least I have this image, because we know what he looks. You see him on these videos and he looks like, not depressed, but he looks so mopey, right?
Yeah.
Like he's just really kind of angry at the world, sort of thing. Then I can just imagine him just kind of in his room, kind of nodding his head to some, Eminem or whatever. Oh God, I've got such a terrible life. Oh my, this guy. Okay, we'll go on. We'll plow on. That was a bit of a Jimmy Carr laugh there. I don't know where that came from. So he says, I can't explain all this over text, but basically, Lucy, you made 2021 way, 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 way worse for me than if I was living alone. And the same happened yesterday. I would have had milk if I lived alone. We're back to the milk, okay? Or with Aisha or the Ukrainian. If I didn't, no one would have argued with me saying it's my fault. I didn't report the milk was finished when I literally can't see or tell, because last time I did there was more milk in the back, and so I trusted you were managing it.
Bruh. Oh, you are such an immature idiot.
I really want to make a joke about how he's milking this, but I just feel it's mad. Because really, like, yeah, so what he's trying to say, if he'd been alone, he'd have managed it, right? If he was alone, he would have had it under lock. And if it was another woman, they'd have just been perfect. This is how a child thinks, right? Because they're never alone. And so they can say how much better they'd be if they were set on their own. They'd be self-sufficient. But, I feel like he's trying to claim that she's kind of infantilizing him, right? That that he feels that he can let go of these responsibilities because there's someone else there. And then when when they don't do this stuff, then he's going to throw his toys out the pram. But really, again, this is his responsibility. He's an adult. Like, it's just not hard. This is not. Yeah. Anyways, just to read this last bit. Anyways, I would have had milk. If I didn't, I wouldn't have argued. I would have been able to nap more and then film in the morning as I originally planned. I wasn't even done sleeping when I texted you at 5. Okay. This man, I say toddler or like child. This actually does. He sounds more and more like an actual child, right? Like, I didn't get my nap and I didn't get my milk, so I'm not able to do my work. Come on, bro. Grow up. I wonder if he's ever lived just like a normal working life. Has he ever had to get up at like 7 or 8 in the morning and spend a day doing
supposedly
work?
He did, right? When he worked in London or whatever.
When he was a financial analyst. Oh, well, yeah, he probably had some other substances to help him wake up at that point. Let's be honest. Financial analyst in London taking in exogenous amounts of certain chemical. What's that word? No, not exogenous. You know what I mean. So so that's just so clearly he's had some experience of corporate life. It does feel like he's regressed, right? Like he's got this kind of nice cushy YouTube role now, and he's like and he's got the, in his head, he's also got this woman who's going to do everything for him. There we go. Yeah. Shall I keep reading? Do we have more to say?
Yeah, you can go.
Sure. It's just so much. Oh my god, this guy keeps texting. We haven't even had one of her texts for a while at this point. I woke up to eat and sleep because I live with you. I ended up receiving a nasty message about me making excuses not to make videos. I became so angry I ordered 2 packs of weed, alcohol, etc. I stayed awake. Can we slide down? Weed, alcohol. I woke up to eat something. I can't see that bit. Because I live with you, I ended up receiving an. Oh yeah, sorry, we're past that bit. This is the type of shit you've been. That's marked out, by the way, presumably because of mention of weed and of alcohol consumption for the custody stuff. I would guess that's why they're marking that out specifically.
Where is it marked out? It's all there. I became so angry.
No. I mean, it's being pointed to.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. When I say marked out, I mean picked out. Sorry,
that's picked out. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's just my. I don't know. Listen, I didn't have my milk. I can't function. I didn't have my milk, so.
Gotta get that lactose, bro.
Yeah. This is the type of shit you've been doing to B for a long time, and I'm sick and tired of it. I wish I could go back and never have met you. Genuinely, I helped you so much, and this is how you treated in the end. How I get treated in the end. Called a bad father, I end up hating you and the daughter. I mean, that I think does make you a bad father if you hate your daughter.
I mean, yeah, by definition.
Yeah, you're kind of a bad father. I'm sorry to tell you this, Leo, but Jesus, there we go. I can't give a shit about now. I mean, it gets worse. It's so bad about either of you. And just imagine, she at some point is going to grow up and probably see these messages, and just see what a disgusting human being this guy is. That is her father, biologically at least. I mean, yeah, it's mad. I can't give a shit about either of you because I spent months imagining she dislikes me and I'm a bad father, and I associated her with you. Such a bitch move. If I could never have met you, I would be in the same position I'm in now, but happier. It was Aisha, not you, who inspired me. Where is it? To start interviewing people on YouTube. Yeah. Who knows? I may have started by now anyway, but the YouTube doesn't matter. I wouldn't have needed YouTube anyway. The point is, I wouldn't fucking hate my life. I can't even make videos because I grew to hate myself from how badly you treated me in this last year, including once again yesterday morning telling me I won't make videos when I was about to sleep and make videos. Listen, if a text message is all that's going to stop you from doing your work, you weren't going to do that work anyway. Let's be honest.
No, by the way, I think we should just stop the video and start again because I'm aware that we're getting close to the 40 minutes.
No, it's 30 hours for 2 people, remember?
Oh, completely forgot about that. Yep, let's keep going.
Yeah, well, we should probably cut that bit out though in the edit when we talk about this.
we can do, yes, we can.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Don't want people to know that we're degenerates.
Yeah. we can leave. I don't mind. We can leave it in, but it's professionalism. Okay. So I can't even make videos because I grew to hate mine. So we've covered all that. So yeah. Mm-hmm. He was about to sleep and make videos. How dare you send him just a perfectly normal text message that would stop him from making videos? Yeah, and because I bet if she hadn't texted him, he'd have been pissed off because she wasn't responding, right?
Yeah.
there's literally nothing she could have done that would have made him happy.
The thing is, before he even said that he's not going to make a video, she kind of called him out up front, saying you're going to use this as a reason to not make videos, which makes me think that he does this constantly, where he holds it against her, saying, "Oh, I'm not going to make videos, ergo you're not going to have money," which is why I kind of agree with Blast in that he's probably now like threatening her, saying, "Oh, because you've done this, because this has leaked, I'm not able to make videos. Because of that, I'm not going to be able to support you," that kind of thing,
I can 100%. Yeah, I can buy that completely. Yeah. I think that's almost certainly what's going on. So yeah, sorry, just a moment.
Yeah.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. So my biggest regret is speaking well about you behind your back in ways you didn't even deserve. Now I look like an idiot if I get divorced. I mean, the way this guy thinks is so weird
It's
and just,
weird, yeah.
you know, I can't get divorced. It's fucked. Relationships are not about how valuable the other person is to your life. I mean, one would think they're a little bit about that. I mean, you know, it's, I don't know, but really, this is what gets me. You know, he's spoken well about it, so he says. I mean, we don't even know if that's true, but
Yeah,
he's going to claim. And honestly, whenever I've come across people like this, you know, they're not saying good stuff about their partner. You know,
definitely not. Yeah.
they're not bigging up their partner. And it's interesting because he said it behind her back, right? So
Hmm.
she hasn't heard him say this stuff. He's telling her she's a piece of shit and she's selfish and materialistic and so on and so forth. And you know, and do we really believe that he's going to be nicer when he's talking to his, you know, his mates? No, of course not.
No,
Um,
I think he's just trying to guilt trip her,
yeah,
thinking,
yeah,
"Oh, look, I speak nicely about you to other people, and this is how you treat me." That kind of thing. It's just a manipulation, really.
but I think I definitely agree. He's trying to guilt trip her. I feel
Hmm.
like there's a little bit more to it in the sense that I think it does reveal something about him. Like he thinks that would be this terrible thing, right? He'd bigged her up,
Hmm.
supposedly,
Hmm.
and then she turns out not to be this prize. So really, the problem is, again, it comes back to this like honor thing that he's kind of obsessed with, right?
Hmm.
Like he has kind of stuck his neck out and asserted that that his woman is a good woman, and then she
Hmm.
turns out, it turns out that he's misjudged her because they're getting divorced, and therefore he's like less of a man or whatever. I think that's
Yeah.
probably at the back of his head, even though I completely think, and I think we're both in agreement, it's bullshit that he's ever said anything nice about her to other people. I don't think
Yeah.
that for a second. I think, but if he imagines what it would be like if he had said something nice, he thinks, well, that would come back to bite me because then,
Hmm.
it's all It's also very transactional. I mean, he's about to say the relationships aren't about value. Well, I think from everything that we've read so far and everything we know about him, I think he's incredibly transactional in the way that he looks at partners.
Hmm.
Like she only deserves respect if she's doing stuff for him,
Hmm.
you know? But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. So, but when the love is lost because of the mistreatment for so long, I only laugh because like the mistreatment on, it's his
Not
mistreatment to
getting
him,
milk,
right?
bro.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is
yeah.
mistreatment. What the hell are you on
And
about?
you're actively an impediment in my daily happiness, and you do it knowingly, then I can't help but realize consciously this person is the main reason I get upset and have a bad day for the last 1.5 years. And they
Bruh.
don't love me because you cannot tell someone you love they won't make videos or they are a bad father. Um, wow, okay. You simply can't, yeah, you simply can't. That is not love. So I don't know what the fuck to do here. Thank God I finally have my room back at least so I can keep to myself here. I don't know what to do. All I can say is I'm tired of living in places I don't want to live in. I'm tired of making sacrifices so you can do quote unquote business, which, and he puts this in brackets, which, oh yeah, since you like me to put down about, like to put me down about not following my advice or not making videos, the fuck have you ever done in business? We, of course, know Leo's been incredibly successful. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. I'm tired of your materialism, which I see your sister and every French person I ever met has also. And
Bruh.
his justification for that is she doesn't want to leave LA. Okay. What a
You
weird.
fucking idiot.
Because also, even if I take his weird, like, you're in LA, bro. Do you want to leave LA? Fuck off. Come
Mate,
on.
he would leave LA, yeah. Trust him. Trust him. That's what he wants you to believe. Like, oh no, no, I would leave LA. I'm not materialistic. I'm not like this. I'm not dishonorable. I have a lot of honor. I never lie.
Yeah.
Pretend.
He's not a degenerate, right? Living in
Represent.
LA, hating his family, having weird thoughts about his wife with Armenian men. He's just an honorable guy. Come on. Uh, so here we go. All I can say, yeah, tired of living. We've got that bit. I'm tired of you not being a good wife or mother, complaining, not being a good mother. listen again, this is pot kettle black. Everything he says is something he's done. The projection is like, people talk, you know, they talk about projection and it's kind of a gotcha when people criticize people in the media. But this is like actually an incredible case of it, right? Like, I don't think I've seen an insult he's leveled at her that isn't something he's engaging in.
Yeah.
You know? Like, this really is him kind of reflecting, like, you know, reflecting himself onto someone else. Projecting himself, sorry, onto someone else. Yeah. Instead of, you know, being nurturing and supportive, which is what a real wife or mother like my grandmother is. Interesting that he doesn't say his mother. I don't know if there's something there as well.
Maybe he hates his mother.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing, right? Like, well, oh wait, was that the whole Armenian thing? I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I think that might be the Armenian thing. We'll have to.
Is his mom Armenian?
I think his mother slept with an Armenian or married an Armenian or something.
Bruh.
I'm not going to say that with complete certainty, but
I think that was her ex. Lucy's ex was Armenian.
Oh, was it? Sorry, it was Lucy's ex. Sorry, I'm getting women in Leo's life mixed up. It's funny to me to imagine that his mom's also got with an Armenian, just because that would really be but okay. So, you know, and then, so what's he say next? I'm tired of feeling like I'm ruining your life by moving somewhere else. No, I'm not ruining any fucking life. I'm tired of you complaining about money and expenses and income, because those are not my fucking priorities or interests at all. I made all these concessions and basically wasted 3 years and lost 2 valuable people only to be told I'm not making videos today. Oh my God, I can't read it with a straight face. And for my milk to still be in the back after I couldn't find it once before and told you, this is fucking unacceptable. I'm nearly
the milk is the breaking point.
It's the milk, you know. he could deal with losing people. He could deal with the income stuff, but he just can't deal with the milk. I think, just imagine how much this relationship could have been saved if they'd invested in a cow, you know.
True. They should have just had a cow, but then he would like start putting pressure on her to milk the cow. Then he would start hating the cow because it's not producing enough milk. Who knows, man?
Yeah, it's not being an honourable cow, right? It's not giving enough milk, you know.
You dishonourable Armenian cow. You brought shame to my family.
So
how dare you look at other cows?
Yeah. You're looking at that bull in the next field over. You disgusting whatever. Okay, so I'm nearly at the point where I really think it's best we stay married, and I send you money every month, and we continue working as we are. But you stay in LA or wherever you're happy, and I move alone to the somewhere I like. That way, all communications are work related. You can become CEO of the companies that develop, and until then be the editor. You can have the majority of the monthly income. I won't need much myself, especially if I choose a place alone. I mean, honestly, this is the first thing he said that's sensible, right? Like, if you know, because this ain't a healthy relationship, and actually splitting up. I'm skeptical they could work together, but you know, better than them living together, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's the first sensible thing he said in this entire conversation.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't think it's him being genuine or anything. It's just him trying to say things to gauge how her reaction is. He's not actually going to do this, you know.
No, I completely agree. This is again, it's like a little trap he's laying out. You know, no matter how she responds, there's going to be some.
Yeah. Do you think he would be happy with sending her the majority of his monthly income? It's just him kind of projecting it onto her to make it out like that's what she would want.
Listen, he's not materialistic like she is. He doesn't need money.
That's true. He doesn't need money at all.
he's going to move to the mountaintop, you know, and just meditate. You know, that's
true. And make videos.
Yeah. He's going to move to that mountaintop, milk a cow, and make videos, and have a great time.
He'll also buy a cow, so he doesn't need to go anywhere else.
Yeah. Oh God. There we go. So should we skip on to the next?
Yeah.
Oh my God, by the way, she still hasn't sent a message here, right? This is all
this is all him. Fuck, in one day as well. Jesus Christ.
It's wild. So we will both be much happier and more productive. I can take Thebe and finally get him a wife. You keep Simba. If that happens already, this place becomes big enough for you. You could have an office in one room, your bedroom in another. Anyway, this is just a thought. I don't break my promises and I won't abandon you. But if it does suit you better, I think it may suit both of us better. I'm just growing so frustrated having these encounters with you, or reminders of how little You prioritize me or respect me compared to Aisha and Fatima. The difference is unfucking believable. Do people actually say unfucking believable? Really?
Maybe they do. Also, doesn't this Ukrainian person have a name? Aisha and Fatima got a name.
Well, I was
Why the
wondering if Fatima. I was wondering if Fatima or Fatima is the Ukrainian. Like, I know it's not a Ukrainian sounding
No.
name, but I'm wondering.
Uh,
Well,
I don't know too much about Ukrainian culture to know what if they have Muslims there. Maybe if they do, if their
I'm
names are
sure. I
like
mean, I'm
that.
sure they do, but I mean, Fatima could also just be like, you know, it might be someone who's like half Ukrainian. We don't know. We don't know. But that's all I can think. So he's either talking about three people,
That's
or
true.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, and we might never know about that. I suppose it's not super relevant to this, but
He's just being a fucking idiot, man. Why does he keep? Who the fuck? He is actually a child. Like he hasn't matured in terms of his like intellectual ability, and like it just shows. Like even I remember this video where him, Derek, and Leo, I think, not Leo,
Steve.
Steve, yeah, was
Yeah.
talking about like dating, and like everything he said was just cap, and it was just so obvious that it was laughable, to be honest. And
Was it
it
just him
just
talking about like things he'd been up
picking,
to, sort of thing? Oh god,
yeah,
yeah.
picking up women and stuff, and it's just like it's just cringe because it's not how it works at all, and he spoke like someone with no experience whatsoever, and maybe I don't know. Maybe he's just got a real lack of experience when it comes to relationships, and he just holds all of his exes close to his heart in this manner that he uses them to, or he uses an idealized version of them to penalize the person he is with currently. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I think the idealized. I think what you said there is probably correct, because I doubt that these women are like were actually, should we say, living up to his standards. You know.
Because if they
Uh,
were, why did they break up with him, or why are they not together anymore? Did they both pass away from COVID? What happened?
yeah, it's clear. I mean, I suspect if you know someone is really a prize, they're not going to stay with Leo forever.
That is
Honestly,
true. That is true. By
but
virtue, nobody can do that.
no, exactly. It's wild. So okay, so there's that. Right. Oh man, there's so much. There's so much, isn't there? I mean, this is. We probably should actually cap off there, just because I've
We
got to get
can do.
going. Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
to get going in a little while, but I think
Because it's 140. We've only gone to page 42. So
wow. Okay. Well, we can do this as like a three-parter. I think
yeah,
probably.
yeah,
That's probably a good idea anyway. To be honest.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, perfect. Okay.
So yeah,
If you
we'll leave
stop
the video there for the
recording,
time being. Yeah.
yeah. If you stop recording now, I chat for a minute longer after. But I don't. There's no point. You'll have to cut this out anyway.
And I'm just gonna do. Did you just want me to stop the screen share, or
No, I just meant stop recording.
but the video would end like that, so we should probably save the.
Oh no, all I was going to say is, well, I could do this again. Probably. Wait, tomorrow's Friday, isn't it? I don't know if I can
No,
do
no,
it
no.
tomorrow.
We'll arrange that. We'll arrange that. We'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
cap off the video like this for the time being. 1 second.
Cool. Cool. All right. Well, yeah.
One
Yeah.
second.
We,
1 second. Let me just.
sorry.
Let me just.